using a new method called substitution. We're going to put one equation into another equation. This will not require us to graph. Good news. The bad news is that we won't see the answer, we will just find an answer. Now keep in mind our answer will still look like a point, so there's going to be two values, an x value and a y value. Alright, here we go, using this new method called substitution. The first thing that we notice when we solve this problem is that there is a variable in one of the two equations all by itself. Notice the other two variables are not isolated, the other three variables, and they each have a coefficient, a number multiplied by them. So we're going to take that first equation, and we see that it is set equal to negative 2x minus 9. So we'll take that and replace it into the other equation wherever we see a y. So my second equation becomes, forgot a 19 over there, that should be a negative 19, sorry about that, 6x minus 5. And remember, we replace the negative y, or pardon me, the y with negative 2x minus 9. Okay, now we just have to solve this equation for x. Keep in mind, we have a number there in front of the parentheses, and that number looks like 5, but it's actually negative 5. That minus sign switches it for us. So we're going to distribute that negative 5x to both of those terms inside. 5 times negative 2, 10x. Negative 5 times negative 9, again, is going to give me a 45, and this equals negative 19. Alright, now we see that we have two x's on the same side of the equation. We can add those two up, and we get 16x plus 45 equals negative 19. Finally, we are going to subtract 45 from both sides. I believe we're going to get negative 64 here, right? 19 plus 45 is 64. On the right side, left side, sorry, we're left with the 16x. My final step, get rid of the 16 by dividing by 16. And so we end up with an equation that says 1x equals negative 4. You can check that in your calculator, but I think negative 64 divided by 16 is 4. Negative 4. Good news, this gives me half my answer. Now all I need to do is go figure out the y value. To do that, you take this negative 4 and you go to either of the two equations and you plug it in. So you could go here, or you could take it over here. I'm going to take it to the the first equation, negative 2x minus 9. It's a little bit easier to work with. So we see that we end up with y equals negative 2 times negative 4 minus 9. Do some arithmetic here. I get 8 minus 9. And so I think we get a y value of negative 9. So there is my answer, negative 4, negative 1. It works in both the equations. It's where these two lines would meet if we had time to go graph them. Okay, our second problem says solve this system by substitution. Again, notice we have two equations. This time the two equations are written on top of each other. The first thing I like to do is actually write them side by side. Secondly, remember we're looking for, is there an x by itself? So I look at the four variables. Can you tell which one is alone? Which one can be gotten alone easily? Hopefully you said this one over here. Yeah? Easy to get rid of the rest of the problem so that the x is all by itself. To do that, we're going to add 2y to both sides of the equation. We get x equals 2y plus 7. Now we know what x is equal to. We have an expression. Yes, so I can take this to the other equation and plug it in wherever I see x. All right, so we get a 3 times, in this case, 2y plus 7, because that's the x value, minus 2y equals 3. Again, there's parentheses, so we're going to have to distribute 6y plus 21 minus 2y. All right, I look on this right side of the equation. I have two y's that I need to put together, a 6y and a negative 2y. I believe that gives me 4y's plus 21. Finally, I'm going to subtract 21 from both sides. And we get 4y is equal to negative 18. Divide both sides by 4. We get y is equal to negative 9 halves, because 18 over 4 reduces. Again, this is half my answer. I have to go find the x value. Again, take that x value that you have, the y value, and let's take and plug it in. You can go back to either equation. So I could plug it in for there, or I could take and plug it in for right there. Hopefully you see that this second option is easier. X is by itself, so if I just plug in the y value, I can figure out the x value. So 2 times 18, 9 is 18, so negative 18 over 2 plus 7. So x is equal to 18 divided by 2, negative 9 plus 7. And we get x to be negative 2. Looks like a z. Sorry about that. All right, there's our solution. Good luck with solving your problems by substitution. Remember, the trick is get one equation so that it has a variable all by itself. Hopefully, when they give you the two equations in our first example, one of them is already isolated, one variable. If not,